Hey everybody, good morning and welcome back to Blu-Roy Movies. How are we all doing? I hope everybody's alright on this lovely sunny Sunday morning. It's actually been a nice weekend thus far. The summer's on the way. Brilliant stuff. So yeah, weekly watches. And I've got the 9 titles as usual. Seem to be stuck in, I'm not going to say a rut with 9 movies. We're maybe in a groove, that sounds better. Yeah, 9 films to talk about. So let's roll the credits and we'll talk some films, shall we? Right, we kicked off the week with The Wild Geese from 1978, directed by Andrew McLaughlin, starring the two brilliant Richards in Burton and Harris, Roger Moore, Hardy Kruger from one of my favourite underrated films, The One That Got Away. Check that one out on the network label. Stuart Granger, Ronald Fraser, do like Ronald Fraser, Barry Foster, he's a good actor as well, he crops up in a lot of stuff. The Wild Geese, this has been stuck on my shelf since Christmas when I kindly received the 4K from my friend Larry, and I should have got to it early because it was wonderful. Such a good time with this. A film the likes we don't see of anymore. They tried to replicate the idea, I think, of a little bit of the Expendables films of the last few years, but although I do like the Expendable films, don't get me wrong, this one's a hell of a lot better. Brilliant stuff. This band of mercenaries that have got together to rescue a African president who's been taken hostage while this rogue leader has taken charge. These guys, they're given the job by, I think is a mining magnate, something like that. He had business in this African company, and it's all about money, isn't it? It's always about money. And the guy was scared that it would affect his business, this despot leader taking charge of the country. So he tasks Richard Burton, Richard Harris, and the rest of the gang to fly into this country, drop into there on a parachute. I do love me parachute jump scenes, and rescue this leader. Unbeknown to our guys, the sort of businessman behind it all had done a double cross behind their backs and then sided with the despot leader, and basically once they'd rescued the guy, they left them there to pretty much fend for themselves, and no support, and an impossible mission ensues. And yeah, just great stuff. Good action, good camaraderie between the guys, just fantastic actors, and brilliant stuff. 4K looked absolutely splendid. It looked like a new film. So why it took me so long to get round to it, I don't know, because we've all got that many films to watch, haven't we? Yeah, highly recommend The Wild Geese. I think I'd seen it before when I was a kid, but didn't remember much about it. It was pretty much like watching a brand new film, to be honest, and marvellous stuff, and it will sit now nicely in my collection as a pride of place movie. The Wild Geese, fantastic stuff. Next up, it was back to the Vintage Classics collection and a first-time watch of Villain from 1971, directed by Michael Tuckner, starring, again, Richard Burton, Ian McShane, old Lovejoy himself, Nigel Davenport, Donald Sindern. Was that a good impression? Fiona Lewis and Colin Welland, who probably Sammy G knows from Kez as one of the teachers in there. And yeah, bit of a Richard Burton kick actually, because I finished off last week's video with Equus, then the wild geese, and then villain. Burton is strangely an actor that I haven't pursued much of his work, which is a bit strange because he's bloody good, and no exception in this as well. He was absolutely incredible. He played a gangland boss in the 70s, and a bit like one of the Craig brothers, like a Craig brother by himself. I don't know whether they took inspiration from the Craigs for it, but that's what it reminded me of. He's this gay gangster. So again, like one of the Craigs was gay, wasn't he? So again, whether they took inspiration, who was really besotted with his mother. So again, Cray connections, like nothing better than breaking kneecaps and taking his mum for a nice day out on the beach in Brighton. I have a lot of films in Brighton. I suppose it's a proximity to London made it easier, but that might be a good video one day. Films set in Brighton, maybe one for Kermit's Ghost. Yeah, villain, very, very good. This gangland boss, he was into all sorts. He was into protection rackets. He was even blackmailing MPs like Donald Sinden, like setting them up with hot, sexy chicks and then getting somebody to take photos and extorting money out of them. And then one day they come up against this. They come up with this perfect heist, this wage delivery heist that was going to put them up in a bit league, get them a lot of money, and things start to unravel from there. Yeah, I do like a good heist film as well, so that ticked all boxes. And all the time, he is being pursued by this police inspector, played by Nigel Davenport, who again, he was really good, and his assistant was actually Colin Welland. He played his sort of sidekick cop. Yeah, very, very good, very violent. Burton was the type of strong but silent gangster, some quiet type that will snap at a moment and kick your teeth in. He had Ian McShane in his pocket, really, because McShane owed him money, and he's a young-looking good guy in this film, and he was using him for sort of sexual favours, or he'd break his legs for not paying back this money that he owed him. Very tense ending as well. Good chase scene. Highly recommended. If you've got this in your vintage classic collection and not watched it yet, definitely stick it in a player because it was a bloody good film. Next up was Flight of the Intruder. Thank you, everybody. When I unboxed this for my present from James the other day, and I didn't have a clue what the title was. Thanks for everybody who told me in the titles. Yeah, Flight of the Intruder from 1991, directed by John Milius, starring Danny Glover, Brad Johnson, Willem Dafoe, Rosanna Arquette, Tom Sizemore. Yeah, really, really good cast. Yeah, this is a film my friend James at Movie Mad sent me over recently, so I thought I'd stick it in and give it a watch. And incidentally, James hasn't been very well recently, but he's hopefully on the mend now and he's back doing videos. He's just made a video. I'll stick his link down below. I'm sure you know James anyway, but if you don't, just go over and give him a bit of love and say welcome back to making videos and hope you make a full recovery. Yeah, I'll stick his details down below. Just go over and see him. Yeah, Flight of the Intruder. I quite enjoyed this. Never heard of it before, to be honest. It was totally new to me. It was about these guys in the Korean War, and they flew these airplanes, these bomber airplanes, into Korea with very little results, really. The Korean air defences were really, really strong, and they'd get frustrated that they were bombing targets that proved to be just rubbish targets, really, just bits of jungle. And the air defences, like I say, were so strong that SAMs, they called them. I think it was surface-to-air missiles. I think that's what it stands for. They were forever knocking out their airplanes and getting frustrated that pilots were dying and navigators were dying just for the sake of a bit of jungle. So Brad Johnson's character, he teams up with Willem Dafoe to go into a no-fly zone that over, I think it was Hanoi, where they're not supposed to fly, where these surface-to-air missiles are being produced and they're all stockpiled. So, against regulations, they say they're going somewhere else. They're supposed to be on another mission. They fly over Hanoi to where they're not supposed to go and knock out this missile factory, and then they have to deal with the ramifications of their actions of court-martial. The commanding officer is Danny Glover, is really good actually as a commanding officer. Proper gruff performance from him, and I'm spoiling it a bit, but then they get court-martialed and something else happens, and then they have to go and sort out the situation where Danny Glover is deep in the doodah in the jungle. He'd never be deep in the doodah in the jungle if he could help it. It's not good. Yeah, really good, tense thriller. The aerial shots really filmed well. You should imagine it must have had a pretty decent budget to it because it looked really, really good. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. And you know what? I'd much probably go back to watch this over like Top Gun any day of the week. Much better than Top Gun, I thought, so I'm not really a fan of it. Although the new one, Maverick, was really good, but definitely too cheesy for me, the 80s one. Yeah, really good stuff. Thank you, James, for sending that my way, and that will, again, sit nicely in my collection now. Next up, I got into the groove, I don't know whether you see what I did there, and watched Desperately Seeking Susan from 1985, directed by Susan Seidelman, starring Rosanna Arquette, Madonna, Aidan Quinn, Laurie Metcalf, Will Patton, John Turturro. Yeah, really good cast. A film I've had on the shelf, DVD, for the longest time and not watched it. And the only reason I watched it is because I just watched Rosanna Arquette in Flight of the Intruder, so thought I'd carry on and watch her in this. This is an insight in how my film watching goes. There's no rhyme or reason in it. Somebody might catch my eye and then I'll watch them in another film. Highly enjoyable film. I quite enjoyed this. Not the normal sort of thing I'd go for. This is about Arquette's character. She's like a dreamy type character, bored of her life. She's this bored housewife. Husband is quite a dull guy who owns this bath manufacturing company, and she's your stereotypical bored housewife. So she takes solace in reading the adverts in the paper, you know, where people send messages to each other, and she comes across this series of Desperately Seeking Susan, meet you at such and such a place, and she gets interested in who these people are because they've caught their eyes that they keep meshing backwards and forwards. So she goes to the place where they arrange to meet in the personal ads. That's what it's called, in this personal ad. She then sees this woman played by Madonna, this free-spirited woman who has a lot of fun in life and gets quite, well, not besotted with her, that's the wrong word, but quite obsessed with her. And to the fact where she buys a jacket that she's sold, that Madonna sold to buy something else. Then she sort of like bangs her head and gets insomnia. Yeah, I know, it's like convenience movie trope. And she gets confused for the Madonna character, who is into petty crime and, well, not so petty because she's got somebody after her that wants to kill her, basically. And then she actually thinks she's the Madonna character, and then these people are genuinely out to kill her, and it becomes quite a good action adventure of her basically trying to stay alive. Yeah, good, really enjoyed it. It's got some quite comedic moments, and Madonna's good in it, I thought. She has this reputation of being a poor actress, and I think I've only seen her in this and the Bond film she was in, but I thought she was perfectly okay in this and did all right. Yeah, good stuff. Very 80s, if you love your 80s stuff. Can imagine Ash from Popcorn and Horror. I think this would be up his streets. And whether he's seen it, I don't know. I'll have to ask him. Yeah, Desperately Seeking Susan. Not a desperate film. It was pretty good. Next up, from 1969, the year of the Blu-Roy birth, The Assassination Bureau by one of my favourite directors, Basil Dearden, starring Oliver Reed, Diana Rigg, Telly Savalas, Kurt Jurgens, he keeps cropping up this year. Philip Noyre, I like. Warren Mitchell, old Alf Garnett himself. And I was a bit disappointed. I don't know why. I was a bit underwhelmed by it, which really shocked me because I normally love Basil Dearden, and Stuart had watched this and he'd said how much he enjoyed it. And there's something missing for me. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's about Diana Riggs. She looks lovely in this, incidentally. Diana Riggs, she's a newspaper reporter. Well, she wants to be a newspaper reporter. It's set in the early 1900s, 1908, something like that, when women weren't really in that sort of job. It was very male-oriented job, and I think it probably was up till like the 80s or the 90s. It was a bloke's job, go for a pint while you're working, that sort of stuff. And she learns of this assassination bureau, these killers for hire place, and she is a pacifist and doesn't believe in killing or any violence or anything like that, and wants to do an expose on them and sell it to a newspaper, write this article. So she approaches Oliver Reed, who is sort of the CEO, chairman, henchman, killer type person, and asks him if she'd do a job for him. And when he agrees to do the assassination for him, she turns the table on him and actually says that she wants him assassinated, Oliver Reed assassinated, and that now he has to take the job. It's sort of Oliver Reed against all the assassins. All the assassins have got to either kill him or he kills them, which is a great premise. I was totally on board with this, and up to the first killing or two, but then for me, it just got a bit bloated. They pulled in this story, excuse me, of a World War origin story. I think it just took on a bit too much, and I kind of lost a bit of interest. If they carried on along the same path, I think I'd have enjoyed it more. It was all right. It was okay. May not go back to it again, but it was all right. Right, next, I was just in the mood for a bit of Bond, so I settled upon 1999 and The World Is Not Enough, directed by Michael Apted, starring Pierce Brosnan, Sophie Moreau, Samantha Bond, who very underrated moneypenny in my opinion, Robert Carlyle, Denise Richards, Colin Salmon, Robbie Coltrane, they always have a good cast under these Bond films. Judi Dench, Goldie, John Cleese was in there, Desmond Llewellyn in his last ever appearance as Q after 17 Bond films he was in, and his screen time acted up in them 17 films come to under half an hour, and he's very old in this, and he actually died in a car crash, which is very Bond and Q like. What a way to go for a Q of his long standing. Yeah, The World Is Not Enough. I don't know why I plumped for this one, because to be honest with you, I think Brosnan is maybe my least favourite James Bond. If I was to rank them, Connery top. I couldn't look for past Connery as being top. Smooth and suave and brilliant, and the founder of Bond, just fantastic. Roger Moore next. My childhood Bond, and not quite as suave and smooth as Connery in my opinion. A bit daft. Went on for maybe a film or two too long. Daniel Craig then. a couple of absolutely banging Bond films in Casino Royale and Skyfall, and his legacy he left on Bond will be forever appreciated, I think. Timothy Dalton in fourth. I loved how the series for me was sort of tail diving towards the end of more, but he invigorated it in taking it in a new, darker way, and maybe the best actor to play Bond, very classically trained actor. Then Lazenby, I really, really do love the one Bond film he did on Her Majesty's Secret Service, and he was fantastic as Bond in it, I thought, and would have liked to have seen him in another one. And then Brosnan, unfortunately, bottom of the pot. I don't know what it is about Brosnan. It's something that just rubs me up the wrong way. He's got a bit of a nasally voice, hasn't he? Bond, James Bond. Whether that's it, I don't know. Maybe that's why Cosmo skips out every time I make a video. Maybe he hates my voice. But yes, I did enjoy it though. It's not a bad Bond. It's not the top tier in any way. Definitely mid to lower if I was to rank the Bond. But it was all right. It's all about Sophie Moreau. She's the daughter and inherited an oil company, and she's building a pipeline from, I think it's Russia, all the way along to the west. And terrorists don't like this because they don't like the thought of the oil heading our way, and doing everything they can to disrupt it by threatening to blow it up and all sorts, even with the use of a nuclear weapon. There's a bit of a twist in it where that you don't realise that this person who you think is good, she's suddenly the bad person. You've got Robert Carlyle, I think is a bit of a poor henchman, to be honest. He's not really threatening as this guy who's got a bullet lodged in his brain, and apparently if that happens you won't feel any pain or anything. There's a scene where he's holding hot coals or something and it's not affecting him. Yeah, it's alright, it's decent. Plenty of good action scenes. I think the best one for me is right at the start where they have a boat chase along the Thames with Q's fishing boat, which is this souped up little thing. Yeah, good action set pieces as always in the Bond film. It's alright, it's decent. I like all Bond films. I can take something out of them. Probably Quantum of Solace is the one that I actually just dislike, but everything else I can take something out of them. Yeah, The World Is Not Enough. Not too bad. I've actually had That World Is Not Enough song stuck in my head as well for the last 3 or 4 days since I watched it. It was bloody annoying because it's not the best one. Garbage, I think, the band. But anyway, next up was Free Fire from 2016, directed by Ben Wheatley, starring Cillian Murphy, Brie Larson, Arnie Harmer, Shelton Copley, Sam Riley, amongst others. And yeah, good film. It's a rewatch for myself. Maybe my second favourite Ben Wheatley film behind the magnificent Sightseers. Sightseers is fantastic. If you haven't watched that, go watch that one. Yeah, Free Fire. This is bloody good though. It's all about a arms deal. It's set in the 70s in Boston, like a lot of crime films are set in Boston. That's Boston, Massachusetts, by the way, not Boston, Lincolnshire, although I hear there's quite a bit of crime there as well. Yeah, they've got these two groups coming together in a deserted warehouse. You've got a IRA gang headed up by Cillian Murphy, and they're arranging to meet these gun sellers, and they're going to want to buy some assault rifles in this deserted warehouse. When the two groups come together, things are going swimmingly until two of like the side characters recognise each other from an altercation they'd had in a bar the night previous, and then all hell breaks loose, and it basically turns into, that's like half an hour, like they're setting up that bit, and the final hour is just one big shootout in this deserted warehouse that is absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed this film. One of them films you don't have to think about too much. You've got something on your mind or something like that, just stick it on and you can just enjoy it without having to concentrate too hard. Uh, a lot of people don't like it because the first half hour of the character building is brilliant. You get to know all these people's, all their little quirks and all that. And there's some very odd characters going on. And then that's kind of falls by the wayside for the action of it. So yeah, I can see some people do criticise it for that, but not for me. I just enjoyed all the hell that breaks out, the bullets flying everywhere, the insults they're hurling at each other in between the shootouts. It dies down for a second, they start hurling insults at each other, which just makes me laugh, appeals to my sense of humour. Brie Larson, she's a lovely looking lady and no exception to this. All the blokes seem to be flocking around her, and why not? Yeah, Free Fire, very good film, quite underrated. I don't know many people that have watched it in my circle. So yeah, give it a go. Why not? Next up, One of Our Aircraft is Missing, from 1942 by the brilliant Powell and Pressburger pairing, starring Godfrey Turl, Eric Portman, Bernard Miles. Love Bernard Miles, good actor he is. Peter Ustinov and the absolutely fantastic Googie Withers. Thanks very much to my friend John for sending this over to me. He picked it up recently in one of his local charity shops, and I was saying to him that I really wanted to see this film because I like Powell and Pressburger. I like everything I've seen of them so far. Red Shoes, Black Narcissus, Colonel Blimp, and there's others as well, which I'm blanking on. And John very kindly sent me over this to watch. So once again, John, really appreciate it because I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of this film. It was fantastic. The titular One of Our Aircraft is Missing is a World War II bomber. It's not a Lancaster bomber. It's only got like 2 engines. Anybody knows and can put my ignorance right, let me know in the comments. And they're doing a mission, a bombing mission over occupied Germany. I think it was Frankfurt. And on the way back, as they're flying over Holland, they get hit by flak and they all have to bail out and try and survive and get to freedom in Nazi-occupied Holland. And yeah, really good, tense stuff. The acting and the camaraderie between the guys as they're trying to keep themselves one step ahead of the Germans was just fantastic. I like it because a lot of these World War II films, especially the aerial ones, they're all like well-spoken people, but in this, like, the crew was made up of a mix of different people from the country. You had a couple of Southerners, you had a couple of Northern lads, particularly like Bernard Miles. He's like a Yorkshire guy, and I really enjoy him as an actor, like I say. And yeah, with the help of the resistance, it's all about them trying to get away and get back to carry on fighting the war. Googie Withers comes in. She's only in it for about the last half hour of the film, as she plays this woman who, she's invented this story that her husband was killed by a British air raid and she now hates the English, and she's been so convincing that the German soldiers are sort of taken to her and believe her story. So she's able to, under their noses, literally, because she's actually hiding them in a German garrison while they're trying to escape. And they believe her as this English hater while she's literally hiding the guys in the same place as them. So yeah, then they're trying to get out of this place and then escape along the river. Brilliant stuff. Powell and Pressburger again. Really, if you haven't explored their films yet, explore them because they were just 2 fantastic filmmakers. Really enjoyed this. One of Our Aircraft is Missing. And we rounded things off with Bone Tomahawk from 2015, directed by S. Craig Zahler, starring the ever great Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, Richard Jenkins, Matthew Fox, David Arquette, Lily Simmons, and I hadn't watched a Western for about 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know why, because I don't watch one a week, so I was hankering after a Western. So I just picked this up recently from CX, I think. Yeah, it was in Skegness. We went to CX Skegness. Oh, rewatch. I'd forgotten how brutal it was, and yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted. It starts off with a scene of some guy getting his throat cut, and it doesn't really relent. Yeah, great stuff about these people from this small town that have been kidnapped by these cave-dwelling cannibal Indian troglodyte type things. They were actually not even like quite human. I know they are humans, but the way they acted was like there was some other beings. Yeah, really menacing. Matthew Fox is laid up with a broken leg, and his wife, played by Lily Simons, is one of the ones kidnapped. She was actually a beautiful looking lady. I've never seen her in anything else. But yeah, really nice looking girl. And along with a couple of other people, they get kidnapped and get taken away to the caves, and Kurt Russell, the sheriff, gets together this small posse, including Patrick Wilson, broken leg and all, to go and try and rescue him. I really felt sorry for Patrick Wilson, because he's got his broken leg in a splint, and they managed to lose their horses at one stage, so they're having to walk, and such good acting, like he was wincing with every step, and I really sort of felt his pain. Yeah, really good acting. And then when they get to the caves, man, it's disturbingly brutal. It doesn't bother me. Like I've seen quite a lot in films, but some of these scenes did make me wince. There's one famous scene in particular with an upside down naked bloke that I'm sure you all know if you've seen the film, and one of the troglodytes just munching away on a leg like we would on a leg of chicken. Yeah, good film. I really do enjoy it, and yeah, I mean that, even despite how grim it is in places, I do enjoy it. Yeah, Bone Tomahawk. Good way to round the week off, that is. So that is it. That was the 9 things I watched last week. Once again, everybody, thanks very much for watching and taking part. Really enjoy making these videos and talking to you people, all good people that you are. Give me a like if you've liked it. It helps out, so they reckon. Subscribe, please. If you're not subscribed and you watch, just hit that subscribe for me. I'm getting very close to 1,000 now, so it would mean the world to me, and we'll do something when I get to 1,000. We'll have a bit of a chat, and we'll do a giveaway or something. I'll think of something to give away, or maybe a couple of things, who knows. But yeah, thanks very much. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you in the week. Bye.